Well, looking here, this is for sure moved up into P6, and look how many cars have just been qualified.
And a warm welcome here ahead of qualifying for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Normally these streets are lined with vehicles, it's non-stop traffic jams, but today the roads are closed to everyone except the 20 best drivers in the world. It's time for qualifying for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
It's going to be a good one. A Baku, which you're not sure we are. Find out officially driving as short not sure for the like of this second part of the season, and look, we find out with something that we can use taller size for, which is obviously helping. Not sure the tires have tried to maximise result while taller size to be someone to hold back the McLaren. We'll find out, that's all we can say, but we're going to go ahead to our third run in 2-1. We're going to do a quick recap once again. Lando Norris 4 points ahead of George Russell, Charles and Oster are still in the front. Carlos Sainz needs to reinvent, redeemed himself to get back and to be a good driver that we want from him, and everybody pretty much saying the same performance, so nothing really has changed with this upgrade. Succeed. Got no bastard whatsoever. 40. So we may actually not make it through. We may not actually make it through. 17, I think that's what I just saw. I pressed the button. So, I pressed the button by accident. So now we are starting 17th, which I know that for sure. Don't know where taller side's gonna be, but what is going on? That is not good. That is not good. But let's see what Baku Grand Prix got in store.
Good afternoon and welcome from Baku. This was the arena, if you think back to 2017, of one of the most eventful races of modern history, with controversy behind the safety car, last-second overtakes, and a historic podium for Williams and for Lance Stroll. Let's find out what lies in store for us this year. It's time for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. The Baku city circuit measures roughly 6 kilometers, and it's made up of 20 corners and 2 DRS zones. The circuit winds around the narrow city, through the old town, and even brushes against the city's medieval walls. However, as beautiful as the setting is, this track is also a ferocious technical challenge, where the smallest of mistakes could lead to a catastrophic consequence for any one of our drivers. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Oscar Piastri lines up on pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Gasly, Carlos Sainz, and Colapinto, Doohan, Hadjar, Ocon, and Tim Tramnitz, Aaron, Verschoor, Liam Lawson, and Maloney, Behrman, Russell, Gabriel Bortoleto, and Alex Albon, Sonoda, Pepe Marti, Crawford, and Taylor Barnard rounds off the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. And alongside me today is a man who needs no introduction, but I'll try anyway. It's Ant Davidson. Now, you're the racing driver in this partnership, so tell us about this racing driver. Put us in their shoes. How are they going to be feeling?
Well, you've got to be prepared, Crofty. Before you even step foot inside the car, you've got to know, you've got to have a pre-race game plan. You've watched videos before you get into the car of previous races gone by. You know where you have to place your car if X, Y, or Z happens in front of you or behind you. So having this clear game plan is absolutely essential before you get in the car.
Ooh.
Okay, give me a quick radio check, please. Radio check.
Radio check.
Okay, a points finish might be difficult today, but just give it your best shot.
I said, so back to the plan. Unfortunately, not sure how one of the worst qualifier this season so far, and I'm rather concerned about it. So I'm obviously trying my best to see what can we do to help him. That is why that is something that to figure out. Obviously, doing hard time first to go a long time, and hopefully we can find a way go on stop if that is possible. So let's get into the formation lap. But we now to take notice and line up to the lead. But raining is not coming anytime soon. It should be coming toward the ending of the race. So we'll see what happens about the strategy that might come on when the race do come down. If
Okay, incredible parking there. Nice one. That's going to give
they
you
come
the
down.
get good launch as the race
We
starts.
don't know. So let's get into it, and hopefully we have a good rating and get yours up. 5 laps light it now underway for the Baku Grand Prix. The Piat, the top of Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc, ground out the outside from third to first, heading get past the Piat. Yes, he does. Charles Leclerc, what a star from that man, taking the lead of the Baku Grand Prix. Piat, not back to start to Lando third, and Lisa for sure watching George Russell, who is now making a double pass on Tim Tartman and Azerbaijan. Oh, Tom Tartman, bit of a contact to my line. Oh, bit of a contact onto the wall potentially. Lisa follows the George Russell and over to Tim Tartman and Azerbaijan. Oh, Tom, what on racing, what a star to lap one. That was fantastic. Russell started P17, worked his way up to basically P11, P13, P12, and then boom up into P9. Fantastic star so far for Russell and especially for Charles Leclerc, but the race still continuing on the exit of the castle section. We're on board with Russell, who is now chasing out for Jack 2-1 for that P8, and obviously Russell, the main goal for him is try to limit the damage in the championship points. I think the championship today into lead, and don't forget Lando is 4 points ahead, so now they will into lead over double digits. They won't try and achieve that again, but it's going to be a very difficult racing between Lando. Yet he may not be quick at PS, though. He will be in a fight with Carlos Sainz and Gas. That will be a help for our situation for Russell to try and catch them. And we actually do have Sainz and Gas. We have in a fight, and Russell has just overtook Jack Demon. Fantastic job from George Russell. Now to the take out for both William, and that is Connor P2, P6, and Isaac Hadjar in P7. They might work together to try to hold back George Russell, who knows, and all the way down to the bottom is the Alpine with Yuki Tsunoda in P20 and Bortonetto in P90. So here is the race start with Charles Leclerc, who got off immaculated, overtook Lando, and then overtook Piat on the exit of turn 1. Now deployed, and we're on board with Russell, who also made a good start, overtaking lead hard, I believe 1, 2, 3, yep, and then another lead hard which made it shit. But then obviously we tried to get the Aston Martin, but unfortunately it's been blocked in. There's no gap, made the contact unfortunately. But at the end, he still managed to get past the Aston Martin and the Ham, which did end up getting a contact, and basically could have took each other out so early in the race. Here's another angle of that situation, trying to defend Aston Martin, trying to squeeze out, basically push him, saying, yo, what are you doing? And obviously, they got lucky, we have to admit, they have got lucky that it did not end up badly, But then in laps 9, we're not sure who is now making a move on Peter, who's been overtaken but had jar on the pit lane, and not sure had made a pad on Peter. Peter was barging, not sure, tried to force him to the wall. But I'm not sure, it's so easy to stay. I'm not giving up, and that obviously pays off for him. But then during the lap 4, we got both Aston Martin. It now swapped the position. We got Ocon in P9, G1 in P10, and they have overtook Paul Andon as well on the pit lane. Barely normal overtake anyway, and now I'm not sure. It now just does chase that I that had jar. Carlos Sainz is doing a fantastic job in holding back Gasly, very proud of it. But in lap 5, going to lap 6, Gasly had overtook Carlos Sainz, and so had Russell overtook I that had jar to move into P6. So Russell, it made it a good progress catching up to Carlos Sainz, which is very good. But now we need to try to work with Carlos. So I try not to force him having to lose places because Russell is faster or that situation. We want to try and work together, but Russell Championship is on the line to obtain priority shape. But unfortunately, headed towards the lap 7, had Jar and Peter overtook Russell, and Russell braked a bit too late, almost went off, and then Lena made the contact with the barrier while tyre defense. Franco Peter, but Russell still managed to get back ahead of Peter and start chasing again. At the height that had Jar didn't last long for Russell to maintain that position, but now here's a replay of how close he could be into the wall. He braked a bit too much later, and he went a bit wide off the track, taking back on. But thankfully there was space on both sides of the wall and the driver, which is good. He managed to nip in, and no, at least we didn't get ourselves the end of that. It's more important than anything in the world right now, especially with the championship being on the line. And we do have the narrow flag going off, and that right in the back. Tina Bernard had just been DNF, and the fight continued on. With Peter made the contact with the wall, and Russell did a bit of a controversial defending, not giving any space, but that was very, that should have ended bad for Franco Peter. Don't know about Russell. It was a little bit too much of a risk for Russell to be doing things like that, but as long as you don't take out someone like that, it will be fun. And now going to lap 12, Charles Leclerc is now doing the coming to the pit. He initially is such a hurt. He is dominating, and he's now in the pit getting himself ready for lap 13, which has just started right now. To put a hard tyre on, and he's starting to see that short Russell is likely to go for, from what we're hearing, is that he could be going a very long time. For that instrument tyre to pop in, that is with the plan that Britain Motorsport has got in store for short Russell. But how good will it be? That is what we're going to find out. Charles Leclerc come out ahead of Gasly for that P3, and it seems like he's pretty much the way to dominate the Baku Grand Prix. Very much so, because he in going towards lap 14 has just got Lando Norris, and he's cutting down the gap. So the Piat, which is now 7.5, Charles Leclerc is going to dominate the Baku Grand Prix once he takes the lead of the race, and Gasly and Carlos Sainz are having their own battle, and Gasly seems to get ahead. He gets ahead of Carlos Sainz, and here's a replay of the overtake that Ferrari did, which is Ollie Behrman who got ahead and overtook Franco Peter going into lap 15. But now, lap 15 going to lap 16, the Piastri had now taming to put a new tyre on, and Leclerc take the lead of the Baku Grand Prix, and Piastri is going to put a medium tyre on, and it's a slow stop. It's a slow stop for the Piastri that is so unfortunate. I would more tyre coming in to put a different tyre on, but the one with Charles Leclerc, it obviously the only medium tyre roller that pretty much are capable of doing what he does, and it now basically made them work by having the massive lead in the Baku Grand Prix, because obviously it's 8 seconds ahead of Lando, but when Lando's in, it'll become like, I don't know, 20 seconds, who knows how far Charles Leclerc will be to the P8 one. I think hard to go back to normal, but for more tyres have boxed it, and also it's in P5 ahead of P8. We've got Hadjar, who's in a little bit of a battle with this for sure, and he moved up into P10. So that's obviously not a bad job from Arthur Hadjar. He's now going to start chasing that for Borton. So don't forget, the driver that's the head of Arthur Hadjar hasn't boxed it apart from Charles Leclerc and the P8. But I believe Gasly has boxed it. To be honest, I've forgotten everything already, but then Russell is now under threat by Oscar Piastri, and Piastri, who has boxed this by the way, has been cut off big time by Charles Russell. Charles Russell is having one of the controversial defending this weekend, let's be real. He is doing a little bit too much on the defense, but hey, as long as you don't take out someone, it might just be fine. It's right on the borderline, but it might just be fine as it's now the second play. And Piastri, starting to try to figure out, get part quicker and try to clear Russell as fast as they can. And we've got more tyres coming in. Russell was supposed to come in by the way, but we were like, no, stay out. He's going to come in when the rain comes down, which is allegedly coming in about 3 lap times, and within those 3 lap times, it should be coming down. And here, how far Charles Leclerc is, 26 seconds. 26 seconds ahead of the P8. Wow, and Russell is now going to have to defend against Lando Norris. And Russell do defend really well, but they both did come together for a moment. I believe Russell had a locked up, but they didn't, collide into a big howler. They should be fine, and Lando Norris unfortunately take the play from Charles Russell. But again, the lane come in, we only going to do 1 stop while they are doing 2 stops, and Russell managed to send himself back on the inside and the overtake for the 3rd play on Lando Norris. But when I say that 2 stop and 1 stop, Lando might not even come in exactly at the same time as Russell, so therefore Piastri might come in, that Russell would come in, that Lando would come in afterwards. Who knows what will happen, but it's likely that Russell will pit at the same time as Piastri when the rain come down, depending on the gamble. And for a moment, Lando Norris did try to make a move, but it didn't work out for him, and Russell stayed ahead of Lando Norris, and the rain started coming down, which is good.
We've got dangerously high levels of tyre wear now. Consider boxing or just nurse them home until the end. Okay, copy that.
I think we're going to come in for interim tyre.
Okay, so gap to the car ahead.
It's sliding.
1 seconds.
I know the tyre wear is gone now, but including the rainwater, I think it can't.
Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
That's not.
Yellow flag.
Right, move.
Okay, be aware there's an incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags.
Oh, we got another flag somewhere. Oh, yes, got to fight into turn 1, and that Gasly made the contact with the wall. Oh, he's survived. Somehow Gasly survived, but there was another flag. Don't know what it was for, no idea. But Gasly survived. Lando in 3rd, Hadjar in 4th, Charles in 5th, Ocon in 6th. Gasly stayed ahead of Behrman despite the contact on the wall, and Russell had put a new tyre on, and it take a while. There was a pit stop issue for sure. Russell, unfortunately, with that instrument tyre is now on, and he's going to have a much more better advantage over anyone who's on the live tyre. And look at that! 4 overtakes on Russell, but it doesn't matter anyway. And this is how it ended up, no, made no contact with the wall. They particularly got swashing. There was absolutely nowhere for Gasly to go, and Behrman came up on the outside, but somehow Gasly fouled the pace jet par Ollie Behrman, but then Carlos Sainz, Carlos Sainz, boy with Ferrari for a second, Carlos Sainz went ahead and overtook. But Williams did that was obviously a fantastic job. Now everybody coming in. Now we've got more lava coming in. Pierre, the Jack Tamer to put instrument tyre on. And now Carlos Sainz and some Russell of course took a bit of an early stop, which is 1 lap earlier than it. So that would give Carlos Sainz an opportunity to come in if we do not want a double stack. That is bad. So we are tired of allowing Carlos Sainz have that advantage, and Russell will have the instrument tyre on early, and double stack by the Williams was somehow worked out for them, so that was perfect somehow. And now we've got Russell started chasing that for Carlos Sainz, but it really unlikely for Russell to tap Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz is actually having a much better race than Sainz. Finally found himself, which I'm so happy, and Russell had jumped ahead of Pierre Gasly, which is good. Very happy about that. But we fast forward with both McLaren. Pierre, on the instrument tyre on, has caught up to Lando Norris. Lando Norris is struggling so much on that low tyre, and that is just given Sean Russell a confidence to be able to take down quicker and be able to overtake Lando if he can, of course. And Charles Leclerc, although they started lap 21 and he's 40 seconds ahead somehow, but he's actually dropping down. But Charles Leclerc actually hadn't had any issues, though he dropped down to 24 seconds. Oh, okay. Charles Leclerc is actually 24 seconds ahead of Pierre. It's just the lap time delta, it got some error going on. So Leclerc is 24 seconds ahead of Pierre, but it'll be a close one.
Norris is in the pits.
Yes, we are. Come on. Let's finally go. And he got ahead of Lando Norris, exactly how it should be. Russell is now in 4th, and we know overtaking the race is considered very dangerous. But we all know all of these drivers, they all want the one thing, and that is to beat their own rival. And Lando and Russell are about to start another civil war, just like Silverstone. Let's find out how it's gonna go for them both. Oh, come on, Lando.
Try to stay with them. They might make a mistake and we could still regain the position.
Oof. Locked up, but still managed to take it back. One moment, almost locked the place in Lando Norris. Or is just Russell still a P4 in lap 24. Nothing really much has changed. Charles Leclerc dominating the Baku Grand Prix by 26 seconds. Wow. And Pierre is 18 seconds ahead of Carlos Sainz, and Carlos Sainz in 3rd did that fantastic job. For Carlos Sainz and Lando and Russell is now getting themselves into the battle, and Russell did to try everything in his power to hold his place, which he had done it to that fantastic job. And now Alex Albon and Yuki Tsunoda are having a side by side going into turn 2, but it seems that Yuki Tsunoda has just nipped ahead of Alex Albon to put himself into P8, and Albon P9. Both Aston Martin are having a fight. Ocon is the head of Jack Dillon. And we now got Ollie Behrman going down the inside. Can he get past? It looks like he might just get ahead of Jack Dillon, but it's not over yet. they're still fighting to only bear but solidify themselves into P11, even though there ain't no point into that P11 in the head of Jack. Oh, another flag. That's Carlos Sainz. Oh no. Oh no, what happened here? Carlos Sainz made a mistake and he blocked everybody. Blocked everybody. What is going on? Look at how many look how many cars there is. Carlos Sainz, you can see him in the distance doing the point turn, but he's taking a while and more cars are coming through and they all will be get caught into the whole thing, and this is for sure it moving. Azerbaijan down. Ollie. Oh my god, a lot of people taking disqualify. Shout out to a 10,000 penalty. Well, looking here, this is for sure moved up into P6, and look how many cars have just been disqualified. Disqualified, that's literally 10 cars that is out, or 9 cars out. So 2 of them got the enough, so that's 11 cars that's basically out of the Baku Grand Prix, and Pepin Martin is in P11. Oh my god, and look, there's still car driving that could have caught it and howler potentially, but what on earth had happened, and there's a replay. The car on side made a mistake, and this is how he did it. Hit the wall, spun around, hit the wall. He did hit it again? No, that's the time it banned into a wall, spun himself around in this little lot to control, and also just run down to very much down on the gap that he can find. My word, back to Grand Prix, do not disappoint you whatsoever, and Charles Leclerc has started the final lap of the night, and look at Piastri, look at the disqualified car. Piastri have to move out of the way, and I'm telling you now that it is extremely dangerous, and they're not even coming in. Why are they not coming in? You've been disqualified. You need to get into the pit to avoid any danger driving, penalty potentially. But yeah, they are disqualified. That is absolutely calamity going on in Baku Grand Prix 2 laps before the whole thing finished. But Carlos Sainz is now fighting Lando Norris as they're heading into final lap. Side by side, Carlos Sainz, by the way, has got 10 second penalty because he allegedly hit Lando Norris, which that's not even true, but they said that it is, and his 10-second penalty is for Carlos Sainz. But Charles Leclerc, the man, is going to take the win of the Baku Grand Prix off for an absolutely dominant performance, 27 seconds ahead of the Piastri. Wow, fantastic job from Charles Leclerc, and the Piastri 32 seconds ahead. Most of it contributes because Russell had to slow down so much to try and navigate the gap of Carlos Sainz. The Piastri is going to finish second, and George Russell continue ascending his podium streak that goes all the way back into third race of the season. He is doing exactly what we need from him. The championship contender is on his way to beat Lando Norris for the world champion, and George Russell is going to finish third place for the Baku Grand Prix. Come on! Well done.
Yes, mate.
Well done.
Well done. We're really happy with the
Come on.
here, so well done. Yes.
That is a good job. That's fantastic. Russell, well done, my man. All but Carlos Sainz made a mistake. Loads of rather got disqualified and held up Lando Norris.
Charles Leclerc, what a drive, what a victory. He wins.
Well, it's never easy and straightforward to put a race like this together today, Crofty, in changeable weather conditions, but they did the best job out there. They used the information wisely, and they stayed on the track. That was the most important thing.
We had drama from start to finish, but in the end, there was only ever one that could take that top spot. And that is a fabulous win And the top step of the podium for Charles Leclerc.
Wow, wow, wow. What an absolute racing we have seen here at Baku Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc dominate, pretty much dominate. Russell took the advantage of the whole situation. He did nothing and still got a podium, and now he is 1 point behind Lando Norris, and McLaren is unfortunately 104 points ahead of Britain Motorsport. I cannot wait to see what's going to happen for the rest of the season. It's going to be fantastic. So thanks for watching. Please like and just make the video. Do my very appreciated, and peace out.